There's two scenarios or two kind of case studies I want to show you guys real quick just to kind of make you understand what we're talking about here. This is an example of a project we worked with a healthcare provider. Here we're interviewing actual users, actual healthcare professionals, and we're going through a story mapping exercise, which I'll talk through with you guys later. The result of that story mapping exercise is the experience, right? We've mapped out the experience. It's in Word form on cards. And then that experience we then translate into a design and an application. And those two things combined ultimately result in our story that we want to project out to everyone else. Another example here, this was a little bit of a smaller user group. We had more business stakeholders and a few subset of users. But we did the same thing here for Experian. We ultimately worked with them to map out the story of what application that they wanted. And then over the course of the following 2 weeks after we did the session with them, we were able to produce these designs and then communicate that out to their teams. So the purpose of today, the kind of the agenda and the format I want to go through is really take you guys through how we go through the story mapping exercise and then how we create the designs based on that result. For the context today, I want to use a paper company, and we're just going to say that they want to create a new customer portal so that customers can come on and purchase paper from them without having to call the salesperson. For this example, we're going to call it Dunder Mifflin Infinity. This is a little play on the episode of The Office where they themselves actually created a customer portal. So we mentioned that back in the napkin. Whenever we start with these projects, we really kind of work with teams to make sure that they have at least an outline. This is kind of, you can think of these as the prerequisites. The idea here is the why, the who, and the how you're thinking about this. So on the why side, it's in this case for Dunder Mifflin, they want to improve their customer experience by minimizing frustrations from having to call in orders and not receiving updates. You have a customer who's going to call in Jim Halpert, and they're going to place an order, and then they don't really get updates. So that's a bit of a frustrating process that they're having to go through. In terms of the who, this is a little bit of our understanding of who's involved here. So simple story, customer calls the sales team, and then the warehouse ships the product. Kind of gives you an idea of who's involved without having to go too elaborate with it. And then the how part is really, I just want to create a customer portal. There's this idea, I kind of know that's what I want to go towards. Not quite sure what that means yet, but I know that's kind of the rough idea. In parentheses, I put here, similar to X. We often find that this is a huge added benefit. If you're looking at a certain problem and you think, I have this kind of cool idea, what if we could do something, we could build a customer portal just like Amazon, okay? So that's similar to X is have I seen this in the industry? Has a competitor done this? Have I seen it in another industry? Oftentimes you might be in an industry that's not, bleeding edge, and you can look at other industries that maybe are, and say, I want to create a customer portal just like that awesome, Uber app. So those are really helpful in kind of this initial outline of the story you want to tell. And this is something that you want to kind of keep coming back to. Obviously the goal of this is to tell the story so that we can explain it to both the higher ups and customers and the team. So obviously this can change over time, but you do want to focus in and make sure you're telling the right story at the end as you go through the process.